So with the crowd supply campaign, like how ready were you to go when you launched? Was it like we have all the parts ordered, or was it we have everything except the order because we don't know how much demand there's going to be, so we're ready to go, but
So the way we did it is I got like 20 prototype boards completed for myself first, just to verify the design and get photos and write the code for it and get that all. So the code was all completely done. Photos were done. PCB design was done, but we didn't order any of the parts until after the money had cleared from crowd supply.
yep,
So after a campaign on crowd supply ends, you'll have like 2-3 weeks somewhere around there before the money clears. Everything's verified on their end and they send it off.
yep.
At which point I put in an order to PCBWay to get 77,000 LEDs
Oh my
placed
God.
on boards. Um, and then when those boards were ready and they came back, one of my biggest warnings I can give other makers is just don't forget tariffs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a 25% tariff on that whole order. $1,600 we weren't expecting. And we had
Right.
enough to cover it. It didn't stop us, but wow,
Yeah.
that was a sad day.
Yeah. Yikes. Well, and it can be hit or miss with tariffs too. Like sometimes it'll just sneak through without, and you're like, okay. But
Yeah.
yeah, yikes. Having to plan on them stinks, and it's also hard to keep track of because everything changed very quickly. So yeah.
Yeah, the tariffs, the misplaced intent, I believe, of those tariffs was to bring manufacturing to be more domestic.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it actually worked because I just bought a pick and place machine from a really
Oh,
cool guy named Stephen Hawes, who's been on YouTube for like 2 years building an open source pick and place kit that he can give out. So I just bought one of his pick and place kits so that I never have to do that tariff thing again.
yeah, there are a few US places that I've used for assembly, for circuit board assembly, but definitely it's definitely more expensive than PCBWay for sure. And so it just
I
all
just like
depends
the
upon like
prospect of running a pick and place machine too. That just seems fun. Even if
yeah.
there is someone domestic I can outsource it to, it just seems fun.
Well, and you built two of your own.
Yeah. So the first one, my first pick and place was like a $150 3D printer from eBay that didn't even have a heated bed. But I just got, XYZ movement out of it. And then a specially printed base plate that could take the LEDs from peeled with a suction nozzle and bring them over with just hard-coded G-code to where they go on a PCB for Lixie 1. And then the solder paste was sticky enough to break the suction on the nozzle whenever you placed them down. So it didn't even have
Gosh,
suction changes. And then
that's hilarious.
I attempted to convert like an AliExpress laser cutter kit, like the black extrusion rails kind of ones, to my own pick and place, but that machine Stephen Hawes built just kind of outpaced mine, and it has a huge community on it now. So I just disassembled that the other night, and I'm waiting on my new machine.
Nice. Nice. I will definitely have to check that one out because that one was not on my radar. I've seen sort of the well, this was a few years ago, like the $2,500 ones on AliExpress, and I've always been like,
Well, yeah. So like those Charm High ones on AliExpress,
yeah,
they're the main problem I think for makers with those is that they're a closed firmware.
yeah,
So Open PNP project right now is trying to basically take all of those and reverse engineer those machines to make them work. But the Lumen PNP is the thing I bought from Stephen Hawes,
cool.
and it's like $1,100,
Oh,
and
it's
it
not
looks
bad.
like one of those laser cutter frames. And it's actually really cool how he did it. It comes with all the rails and the fasteners and cameras and motherboards and vacuum. But you print all of your own structural pieces on your own printer from a big list, like a bill of materials.
Nice. So it's definitely like a print your own.
Which is kind of funny because a lot of companies are clearly moving to that, like Fuchsia.
Yeah.
who, you see all the orange, you're like, oh, that was the printed part. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
So, but the cool thing about that is we can kind of color it to whatever we want. So we just got this really, really insanely
yeah.
pretty
So
fuchsia
my
paint.
machine's gonna be this
Ah.
wild paint.
Nice.